I guess your first workout, just a little bit about that, and I don't know that you knocked the rust off because soccer's a year-round sport, but just the first workout.
Well, for us, it's a bit of a blessing. We were out here; it's only 80 degrees, and it's always an exciting day. First day of training. The team has been here. Almost all the girls had some sort of a summer class. NCAA doesn't allow us, as far as the coaches, to have any kind of contact with the players for what's really been almost 100 days, which is kind of amazing. Since we have to get started the first sport out of the block with the new academic year, but the players are fit. The players are obviously excited, almost as much as the coaches are excited to get the new season going. So the fact that we've got such a nice day with cloud cover just makes it that much better for us. And they got off to a great start. Today was all about kind of getting ourselves back up to the speed of play, getting ourselves back up to speed of thought with the way that we want to try to play. We've got a very experienced team back. So there's obviously a lot of expectations within our program for what we can do. Obviously a lot of expectations always for what Texas A&M can do on the soccer field because of our past history of titles and wins and all the excitement that brings.
What do you hope to accomplish in your couple of exhibition matches before you've got your opener on the 15th?
Well, the first one for our exhibition this Saturday against Rice, as much as anything, will be kind of knocking the rust off of all of our staff here to get ready for a home game, and just kind of reminding everybody that wow, the new academic year is here, the new sports season is here, and try to kind of get people ready for what's going to be, we think, an exciting run of games here at Ellis Field, which will then start the football season and the volleyball season and everything else. So for us on the field, it'll be about trying to get those relationships, those positional relationships, get those players getting going as far as the timing that they can have with each other, determining some lineup issues that we'll have, and just trying to get our timing down early on the season. The players haven't played a 90-minute game in quite a while, so we'll build up to that, trying to get our player loads right. And you won't see anybody playing 90 minutes in this particular game, but it'll be a little bit of a build-up, of kind of a ramping up as we get ready for what will be a opening game, which is going to be on the road down at Lamar, which is a really good team, on the 15th.
Speaking of those relationships, just how have you seen, maybe over the summer, I know it's still early, but some of those relationships develop with that core nucleus that you're bringing back, and then some of the transfers and freshmen you brought in?
Well, this is, for us, this is the largest roster that we've had in 20 years. Part of that is because it's the last year of COVID, just in the way the NCAA gave everyone a do-over season back in 2020. So that's allowed people a fifth year. And so we're taking advantage of that, like a lot of teams. So we've got freshmen through seniors and fifth-year players. On top of that, we've got a lot of fifth-year players who are transfers. But everybody except for two players were all here in the spring. So our relationships are already pretty deep, and it's a really solid, really tight team. That's one of the strengths of this particular team, is how close they are with each other on the field and off the field. The two new players, Bree, who transferred in from Kansas, and Allie, who's just come in from Rutgers, they've already fit in really well with the players off the field. And today was the first chance we got a chance to see Allie on the field. She was fantastic this morning. So I'm excited about all of it. I know that for them, finally a chance to get out and play in front of the coaches was, I doubt that it was that scary, but it was definitely an exciting thing. And we'll go again tonight. We don't go like old school two-a-days. It's a situation for us where we want to try to, like I said, it's a ramping up type of a situation for us, but we want to try to give new ideas, kind of piece these together. But as much as anything, we do want to try to hit the ground running on Saturday, and then the next week when we go up to SMU for our last exhibition game, having built on whatever we're going to be able to do on Saturday.
Coach, how does this NCAA settlement and expansions of scholarships, how will that affect you guys?
Well, with the NCAA against the House settlement, you don't really know. I mean, people keep talking about that. That's an expansion of scholarships. It's not. You don't know that it's an expansion of scholarships. It's just a reassessment of what the landscape is going to be. We have 32 players on our roster right now. They're talking about roster limits being 28 in the future. Now, usually our roster is about 24. So how will that affect a lot of other teams? Most teams in the SEC, they usually have this many players. So that means that a lot of those teams are going to have to get rid of players. That won't be the case for us. We're going to, we have a lot of seniors on this team, so we'll matriculate. It'll just be part of our regular, our regular scene. But will teams have more scholarships? That's to be determined. I mean, right now I think most programs have about 250 scholarships. Now these new roster limits goes up to like 600 and something. I don't know that a lot of athletic departments are going to be able to bridge that gap. People are thinking that money grows on trees. I don't think that really has happened yet, and especially now with being able to reimburse football and basketball players for revenue. There's a lot of things that's online that may not really go with reality. So all of that is yet to be determined. Obviously, with soccer, it's still the number one participation sport. It's still the number one viewed sport in the world, and women's soccer specifically is the number one in both of those categories on the girls and women's side, both amateur and professional. So we think that there's huge opportunities for growth on both sides, and on the collegiate model, there's 350 teams that are playing. So there's opportunities, of course, but nothing has been defined in that settlement. And I mean, I'm the last person. That's way above my pay scale. I have no idea what's going to happen with any of that.
You mentioned.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, you mentioned the amount of seniors and veterans you guys have. What does that do for you guys going into a season like this?
Well, it's obviously raised our level of excitement, because we know that when you're talking about some of our seniors, you talk about like Mia Pante, you talk about Micaiah McDonald, you talk about that type of experience that they have. You talk about our team over the last few years has been dominated by underclassmen, and now here for this year and for next year, you've got people like Taylor Pounds, who's been a starter ever since she stepped on campus. These are the type of lineups that get you really excited. Our leading scorer from last year, Jasmine Wilkinson, is a senior for us, and that's exciting because she's scored in big games for us. So these are things that just have us kind of walking around with a big smile on our face.
Soccer is the first sport that kicks off the fall slate, and then just all around sports. Just your general thoughts on the state of Texas A&M athletics heading into this fall, spring, all of the above, and the coaches on campus.
Well, I mean, I'm excited because these coaches are, number one, they're friends of mine, and always have been. We've always been very fortunate to have some really unique characters, but also some really smart people. It starts at the top with our president. President Welsh is an incredible leader, and someone who I'm honored to be associated with, even if it's from afar. I think Trev Alberts is someone who is someone who really thinks outside the box, and that's someone who you really want to be on your team, and who's leading us in a really innovative way. And then Mike Elko is a smart guy. I love what he's been doing. It's been a quiet off season for football, but it's been a quiet, smart off season for those guys, it seems like. And I can run through the whole gamut of coaches, but every single program is led by, number one, a really good person. You look at what softball has, you look at what women's basketball has, you look at men's basketball, you look at what both of our tennis programs are about, and you look at across the board what all of these programs are about. They bring great people in because we've got great coaches. And with our women's soccer program, we'd like to say the same thing. We've had a long run. I've been the only coach we've had, but you look at the women that we have a 3.6 grade point average on this team, 11 girls last spring with perfect 4.0 grade point averages. That's the kind of people that we bring to Texas A&M. They are great representatives of the university, and on the field with all the championships, but off the field too. So it's going to be a great year for Aggie athletics, I know, but it's the kind of people that I think the university really should be proud of representing them in maroon and white this year.
2.5 weeks long enough, or does the coach want more? Or
Well, we'd love to have more. We think that there should be a little bit longer ramping up period. We've been trying to pass some legislation to give us a little bit more time to spread out to decrease the opportunity for injury for women's athletics or women's soccer specifically, because we have a lot of injuries, and that's kind of held up in the NCAA with all the other stuff going on. But we'd always love to have a little bit more time to give our players to get ready for it, but we'll be ready. We've got a game on Saturday, so let's go. The time is now, and I think that these players are excited about it. I know the coaches are.
Had any chance to watch any Olympics?
A little bit. Watched a little bit of women's gymnastics after the fact last night, which is amazing, and obviously excited about what our women's soccer team is doing. I think it's cool to see what Emma Hayes has been able to come in and do with that team, and I'm excited to see men's soccer today against Guinea, and hopefully our men's team can go through to the next round. And obviously a big fan of anything that we can do for the USA in the international scene. So I see bits and pieces of it. I have a bit of tunnel vision right now that our preseason has started. Thanks, guys.
hey, if you can